Standard tuning with a capo at the first fret. First chord is a D chord. So in your picking hand, I think it's like finger picked with 4 fingers with thumb, index, middle, and ring. And a good like general pattern you could do is just the thumb playing whatever the low string is of the chord. The other 3 strings playing some of the high strings of the chord. And it's all of them together once, then thumb by itself, then all of them together, then thumb by itself. So you could play the whole song like this. And that would be totally cool, I think. And that's also just a good general pattern to practice. What's gonna, and that thumb is gonna sort of keep playing the beat like that in general. These fingers get a little more syncopated, but I'll show you some of the ways that happens. Okay, so first you have this D chord. The second chord is this. It's like a A over D. It's first finger on the second fret of the G and second finger on the second fret of the B. So you have this D, and this one, then a G. When you go to the G now, your thumb is going to go to the low E for the picking. And these fingers can either play the top 3 strings or D, G, and B. So either G, B, and E or D, G, and B. Kind of up to you. And then it does that 1, 2, 3, and then on 4 it becomes a G over F sharp. So just move your, and it's this kind of G, by the way. It's the G with the 3rd fret on the B and the 3rd fret on the high E. So first finger on the 2nd fret of the A, second finger on the 3rd fret of the low E, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B, pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E. And it does that for 3 beats, and then pick up your 2nd finger on the low E and replace it with and move the 1st finger from the 2nd fret on the A to the 2nd fret on the E. That's going to happen in the intro, in this sort of like riff thing. It happens just on beat 4. It's like 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then it's an E minor. The E minor does this trick. We'll talk about that in a second, and then it goes back to the G. So again, just the basic chords for the intro part, which is really similar to the verse, is just this D to this A over D to G to a quick G over F sharp to E minor to G. Okay. So here's some of the subtleties. Okay, so first chord, the D. I'm gonna play them all together. Then I just have a thumb. Then for the second time, I don't hear the high E string. I think it's like just the index and middle playing the G and the B. Now, for this second chord, hammer it on. So the way that hammer on is going to work is these 2 fingers, the index and the middle, are going to play open G and B right before the next beat, and then hammer on to the 2nd fret on the G and the B right as you play the next thumb. So in slow motion, it's going to be like this. Any way you can find to get that basic idea. And then, so it's kind of like, after you play that, then there's a thumb, then I would play the index and middle on the G and the B again, then another thumb, then the ring playing the high E string. So something like that. It can be very loose. I don't think the thumb is always, really strict, but that's the idea. With this kind of style, once you get your fingers kind of moving, you can kind of just, keep them plucking. Okay, so then you switch to the G, Here it can just go back to that kind of straight style where it's just like all the fingers together, then thumb, all the fingers together, then thumb. On beat 4, go to that 1, 2, 3, go to that G over F sharp. Now, on the E minor, one time together, and I'm doing thumb on the low E and index middle ring on the D, the G, and the B. So that's all together like that. Then on beat 2, 1, 2. I'm gonna do a hammer on, these fingers are gonna pick up and then hammer back on, 1, 2. And I'm just playing the index finger on the D string there. So like, and then there's some kind of like alternating thing where it's like ring, index, ring, index, ring, B, D, B, D, B. So like, notice that's all alternating with the thumb, right? So all together, thumb, hammer on, index finger, thumb, ring, thumb, index, thumb, ring, thumb, index, thumb, ring, with the index being on the D and the ring being on the B. Again, like, it can be sloppy and I think it would still sound good if you just like, whatever it is, whatever works for you. Yeah, and it might be like, you could really experiment with the style. And then it goes to the G chord. And on the G, this time, I hear this note, so maybe move your index, middle, and ring up to the top 3 strings, up to the G, the B, and the E. And there's some kind of rhythm maybe like this. 1, 2, again, just like anything syncopated like that will sound good. And the thumb might be sort of brushing against I hear this note in there, so this thumb might be kind of like brushing onto the A string a little bit. Yeah. Okay, now, so that's the intro. The verse is kind of like a straighter version of that. It's a little different in just a couple ways. So you have this, and now here you can just do it straight, where it's all 4 together, thumb, all 4 together, thumb, all 4 together, thumb, all 4 together, thumb, G, keep that together. Here now the G over F sharp gets 2 beats, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Then E minor. That same riff happens, but it's sort of a shorter version. It's like this. So that's like all together, thumb on low E, index on G, middle on index on D, middle on G, ring on B. On beat 2, hammered on, then thumb, ring, index, thumb, and then just all together, and then another thumb. Something like that. I'll do that really slow. Something like that. This time, and then you're on the G. And again, just do this. Thumb is playing the beat, and the higher strings, which can be, on the G it could be D, G, and B, or G, B, and E that you're plucking with the other. Okay, it repeats that. Now there's this sort of variation. This time I think the G over F sharp only gets 1 beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor for 2 beats. And just sort of straight, right? Not the hammer-on trick or anything. Just 4 fingers together, thumb. 4 fingers together, thumb. And then to an A. Now the A chord. First finger on the second fret of the D, second finger on the second fret of the G, third finger on the second fret of the B. Same thing, straight. Now this chord, it's kind of that old A over D or whatever. First finger on the second fret of the G, second finger on the second fret of the B, and now it goes like this. So it's just these three strings, I think. So thumb on D, index on G, second finger on B. Play them all together. Thumb on the D, all together. Thumb on the D, then hammer on. And this hammering is just all together on that beat. So 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, and then 3, 4. That one's syncopated. So after this, thumb and then index and middle together, and then thumb again. Something like that. You know, and you can kind of mess with the, so that's this little variation, the third time in the verse. And now it's just like a regular verse again. The chorus goes A. I tried to kind of imitate like those strings that come in by playing the thumb a little heavier when I get there, like da, da, full bar on A, then 2 more beats on A, and then this chord. It's like a A sharp diminished. So first finger on the first fret of the A, third finger on the second fret of the D, and pinky on the second fret of the B. And you're gonna pluck the middle 4 strings, A, D, G, and B. And it's dum, bum, all together thumb, all together thumb. And that's 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 2 more beats of A, and then 2 beats of that, and then B minor, which is like a bar chord, although you don't really have to bar it because you're not going to play the high E string. So first finger on the second fret of the A, second finger on the third fret of the B, third finger on the fourth fret of the D, and pinky on the fourth fret of the G. This one's for 2 beats, then F sharp minor, bar the second fret, third finger on the fourth fret of the A, and fourth finger on the fourth fret of the D. You could maybe be plucking, your thumb should be for the B minor, your thumb should be on the A, and for the F sharp minor, your thumb should be on the low E, and your index, middle, and ring could be on the D, G, and B for both of them. And then to E minor. It does that little trick on E minor. At some point in the song, she starts doing it on the third beat instead of the second beat. So instead of it being 1, 2, 3, 4, it's more like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not really like necessary. I liked it. I tried to do it. So like 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. So I hear it happening sometime around there. Dun, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it repeats that. A for 6 beats. A sharp diminished for 2 beats. B minor for 2 beats. F sharp minor for 2 beats. Now E minor for a full bar, and then G for a full bar. That G sounds kind of crazy with like what the strings are doing, but I'm pretty sure it's a G. Full bar on E minor, and then G. Okay, the whole chorus kind of slow. A for 6 beats. 5, 6, then A sharp diminished for 2 beats. B minor for 2 beats. F sharp minor for 2 beats. E minor. Repeat. A for 6 beats. B minor. And then this G. So yeah, the end of the first chorus just does the sort of riff intro thing again, then verse, chorus, and then at the end of the second chorus, it just goes back to the riff. hopefully that is enough to get you going. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching.